Welcome to Comicstorian Gaming, where we make goofy videos about your favorite video games, and I cover the lore to some of your favorite games. We try to get down to the nitty-gritty and tell you the bare bones knowledge that you need to know to play these games, and with that, we're going to start telling you about the Awoken and the Destiny universe. Now, after the collapse, those known as the Awoken returned to Earth. Different from regular humans, the Awoken looked upon the world with luminescent eyes. Their skin was purple, gray, green, and blue. And perhaps it was these physical differences that made them distant and cold. They also possessed abilities beyond those of normal humans. Mystical powers and visions were common among this race. Now, legends state that the Awoken were born during the collapse. Humans that were transformed when they tried to flee the growing darkness. However, the Guardians learned much later that the Awoken were born from the Yang Liwei, a generation ship filled with passengers that believed that there was a way to live without the aid of the traveler. The ship left Earth as the collapse began, refusing to take sides during the Great Collapse. It was in the beginning that the Yang Liwei and all those aboard were caught in a strange anomaly when they were then brought into a new universe. In this pocket universe, known as the Distributary, it is the birthplace of the Awoken. You see, while there, the passengers of the Yang Liwei lost their physical forms, becoming beings of pure light and energy. The former captain of the Yang Liwei, Alice Lee, regained her form and then brought her people out of the Distributary, reincarnating them in the current forms that we know them as. Captain Lee became the first queen of the Awoken people, yet she wasn't their true leader. Mara Sov was truly the first, believing that life would have a little meaning for those who were immortal, and she was the one who manipulated Alice Lee into leading the Awoken people. With their people reformed, Mara Sov led a group of Awoken back towards Earth, eventually settling into the asteroid belt and establishing the area known as the Reef. Others continued onward, arriving at Earth where they helped defend the people, going on to become the Guardians, helping establish the last city and the shadow of the traveler. Time would pass, and as it went on, some of the Awoken were reintegrated with the people of Earth, but others would remain in isolation at the Reef under the rule of Queen Mara Sov. When the Fallen began to amass to destroy the last city, Queen Mara Sov sent her fleet, defeating and scattering the Fallen House of Wolves. This prevented the Fallen from consolidating their power on Earth, and it began a war between the Fallen tribes and the Awoken in the Reef. Continuing the Awoken's history of aiding Earth and the Guardians, Queen Mara Sov and her witches gave their lives in the fight against Oryx, though their sacrifice seemed to be in vain, as Oryx's dreadnought was unaffected in the fight. It would then be Petra Venj, who would take up as an acting regent, who continued to aid the last city while making sure the House of Wolves didn't regroup during the Queen's absence. The Guardians would once again be called to aid the Awoken, as Prince Uldren Sov, brother of Mara Sov, led a group of Fallen known as the Scorn against the Reef. Uldren would open up the Dreaming City, the birthplace of the Awoken, and allow the Scorn and Taken to attack the city. Working alongside the Guardians, Petra finally revealed a dark secret that the Awoken had kept for some time. One of the last Omkara, known as Riven of 1,000 Voices, lived within the Dreaming City, and there was a time when Riven worked alongside Mara Sov, but the ancient dragon had been corrupted by the Taken King. And after Oryx's defeat, Riven was now controlled by the Witch Queen of the Hive, Savathun. The two worked to corrupt the Dreaming City, forcing the Guardians to bring together a raid team large enough to assault the Dreaming City. Riven was defeated, but not before cursing the city with the plague of the Taken. And as the Taken began to swarm the city, Savathun led the Hive to capture the throne world. Yet it was then revealed that Mara Sov was in fact alive, with the Queen asking the Guardians to free her world. Fighting their way through the city, the Guardians managed to wrestle control from the Taken. Yet there is no victories on this day, because as the Guardians leave, they discover that the Dreaming City is stuck in a time loop, created by the Dreaming Mind, and the city once again slips into Taken corruption. And that is the history of the Awoken, a little bit of Queen Mara Sov, and it's also a little bit of the Forsaken storyline. The storyline of Destiny is long and sprawling with tons of theories and fluff being thrown in by the various things that are made up and things that are made up in the game and things that are made up by the community. And I just wanted to create a small series here on the Comicstorian Gaming channel where I just get you guys caught up in the bare bones knowledge that exists out there, the confirmation of stuff that is currently on the wikis and on the various stuff that I've done in the game myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments down below what's the next thing you want us to cover from the Destiny series, as I want to try and turn this into a pseudo-weekly series that we're doing here, along with some of our fun gaming videos. Overall, guys, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate each and every one of you who watches these videos over here on this channel, as I'm trying to get it in a direction that I'm happy with. Thank you, and I'll see you next time right here.